What's up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys with my IRL version of Salamangreat. So I'm gonna try my best because the new list kind of left me with only one super polymerization. So I'm gonna work with a lot of the fusion stuff that is accessible with this. Like this deck has pretty much two setups. It has the setup with Heat Leo into um, Violent Chimera, and then it just has basic fire beatdown. That's pretty much all it is. And it's a really good deck, it's a really good and fun concept. And like literally it's one of the easiest to support it. Like this is the structured X time when you start getting structured X and they actually start doing amazing. I mean look at Dinos, look at Monarchs, look at deck like this. So yay, Rise of the Structure Decks. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. So if you guys hear some noise in the background, that's literally because it is like 90-something degrees outside and I refuse to fry. So, that's out the way. Let's get into it. So my monster lineup is as follows. 3 copies of Salamangreat Gazelle, 3 copies of Salamangreat Spiny, 3 copies of Salamangreat Foxy. So those are 3 of the Salamangreats. And then I'm running 1 copy each of Salamangreat Mole, Salamangreat Falco, Salamangreat Jaguar, and Salamangreat Fowl. So that is for them. And then for the rest of the monsters I'm running in the main deck, my hand traps, 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, and 3 copies of Effect Veiler. So that is pretty much it for my monsters. For my spells, I'm running 3 copies of Salamangreat Circle, 2 copies of Fusion of Fire, 2 copies of Will of Salamangreat, and 2 copies of Salamangreat Sanctuary. For the rest of my spells, I'm running 1 each of Monster Reborn, Foolish Burial, and Super Polymerization. Alright, so that is this sneak kick for the spells. Now I'm going to move on to my traps. I'm running 3 copies of Salamangreat Roar, 2 copies of Salamangreat Gift, 2 copies of Salamangreat Rage, and 2 copies each of Goes in Match. I was going to say Salamangreat Goes in Match. I don't know. Alright, that is for my main deck. For my extra, I'm running 3 copies of Bow Links, 3 copies of Sunlit Wolf. Here we go. 2 copies of Salamangreat Heat Leo, 1 copy of Salamangreat Gazelle, and Mirage Stalio, and 1 copy of Violet Chimera. Then for the rest of my extra deck, I'm running a copy of Hita, the Flame Charmer Ablaze, 1 copy of Gaga Cowboy, a copy of Abyss Dweller, Exciton Knight, and Babuska. So, that is pretty much it for both my main and extra deck. Let's get to it. So, pretty much the way Salamangreat work is they like to orient themselves to the graveyard. Sending themselves to the graveyard, activating themselves by sending themselves to the graveyard, or sending other Salamangreat cards to the graveyard so that they can trigger secondary effects and then trigger their own effects. The other thing is the Link monsters that have the ability to do additional things when cards like Salamangreat Sanctuary are on the field by Link summoning themselves using other cards with the same name as material to do additional effects. Alright, so Salamangreat Gazelle is pretty much your Foolish Burial. When you send a Salamangreat card from anywhere to the graveyard, it will trigger its effect by summoning itself from the hand, and then when it's no more special, you can send any Salamangreat card from your deck to your graveyard. So you can send your spells, your traps, even your monsters, and trust me, you have ways of recycling them and putting them back together. Salamangreat Spiny is the next monster in the second of my 3 Us. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to give additional 500 points to a monster on the board. Then, if this card is in your graveyard, you control a Salamangreat monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard to the board. But if it leaves the field, it is banished. So you can see the combination between Gazelle and Spiny, a lot of sending each other to graveyard or searching stuff to send each other to the graveyard. The next card is Salamangreat Foxy. Foxy ability is pretty much an excavation of the top of your deck for 3 cards. If any of them are Salamangreat, you add it to your hand, and then you can, while this card's in the graveyard, you can target a spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy that card, and then special summon this. So it's an MST. It's a Galaxy Cyclone for face-up cards. Then on top of it, it's helping you excavate your deck so you can get a lot of plays going, especially when you want to get to your Gazelle or you want to get to your Spiny. Now, with the 3 of them out of the way, I want to move on to the rest of the extra deck. Main deck. Salamangreat Mole is your Pot of Avarice, with its effect by banishing itself to send 5 cards, Salamangreat cards with different names, to your deck, and then drawing off of them. I believe you draw 1 card off of them. 2. Yeah. While you control no monsters. So it's your Pot of Avarice. Then you have Salamangreat Falco. Falco is pretty much when it's in the graveyard, you can set 1 Salamangreat spell on your side of the field, then return it to hand. And if you use a link monster whose material was the same name as the one used to summon it. No, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong card. So if this card is sent to your graveyard, you can target a Salamangreat Solar Trap and add it to and set it on the field. If this card is in your graveyard, then you can target a Salamangreat monster you control, except for Falco. Return that card to hand. Then summon this card from your graveyard. So it's a compulse to a monster, but in exchange, you can summon it from the grave. You're going to get a lot of plays out of it because it is one of 2 of your level 4s, and you want to send Gazelle and Spinies back to your hand so you can get access to them again. Next is Jaguar, since we're speaking of him. And what Jaguar does is, because that's something, it gives piercing damage, and then if you target a Salamangreat card, you can, in your graveyard, send it back to the deck, and then summon this card to the field, but you only use each effect a turn. This is your 18 beater. This is your additional, this is pretty much your returner in sending stuff back into the deck so that it can special summon itself. Jaguar does come in handy. A lot of just utility from Jaguar. And then you got a lot of cards to help with Jaguar. The only odd man out is Foul, and that's because Foul's effect resolves around your opponent having stuff already on the field and getting rid of it, or have that's set. And the thing is, you can chain the Foul with a lot of cards. So it's very situational how you want to deal with Foul. I'm only running 1, like I said, because, well, it's the other 18 beater in the archetype. There's no 19 beaters at the moment. And I don't mind having the full setup. I don't know, because I was debating on if I want to run 2 Jaguars instead. I might consider it, but Foul is right here just because it's a right here, right now type of situation with most of these monsters. And plus a lot of stuff is still fairly new. Ash Blossom, Joyous Springs, and Effect Veiler are my courses of hand trap. They're really good monsters, especially that Ash Blossom, because a lot of stuff in this game searches through the deck, special summons, does all those crazy shenanigans, and she deals with them. Effect Veiler is the complete opposite. It just pretty much negates a monster effect on the field. It's a tuner. Blossom's a tuner. Is hand traps unite. That's pretty much what it is, and it's still a great, amazing monster. I just wanted to have an option to have in the deck outside of the Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. I could cut her for other monsters, but time will tell with that. Alright, moving on to the spells. Salamangreat Circle is either your Forbidden Lance or your Reinforcement of the Army. Remember, you can only choose 1 effect per turn. So that is a very choice and niche reward. I think most people just probably will use it for its defensive plays and then set it with Falco and then try to trigger it the next turn to search your deck so you can get your combo plays going. Next up is Fusion of Fire. So this card is treated as Salamangreat while it's on the field or in graveyard, so you can send it with Falco. And Falco with your this is a tree as a Salamangreat card, so you can send it with Falco's effect, Gazelle, stuff like that. You can send it with Gazelle and stuff like that, and then you can set it with get with the effects of Blossom. You just want to not Blossom. I forgot who the monster was. Falco. And pretty much this is your fusion spell. You can use monsters on your side of the field or your opponent's side of the field, which kind of makes Super Poly obsolete. But you need to summon a Salamangreat monster when you're using Fusion of Fire. That's the only other thing to it. That's why some people still prefer Super Poly, but hey, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Will of the Salamangreat is an amazing card. It's your hysteric party for your monsters. Um, you pretty much can summon a Salamangreat card from your hand or your graveyard, and then you can send this card while you control a monster whose link whose link material is the same monster. You can a monster with the same name. You can summon the monsters who are used for the summon to um, bring them back on the field equal to the number of monsters used on that link, on a number of link markers that monster has. So, say for instance, you use someone who's like a 3, like Mirage Stout. I mean, that's what I Leo, but Heat Leo, and you can go get your other monsters. And I believe each effect you can only use once a turn and once that turn. So, yeah, like I said, this is your hysteric party. It's a really good card too. So, Salamangreat Sanctuary just helps enhance that. What it does is pretty much when you use a monster whose name, you link summon monsters using Salamangreat monsters only who use the same name, and that way you can bypass a lot of the effects of the cards. It's a really good resourceful setup, and it does have a searcher, ironically enough. Besides the effects of Gazelle sitting in the graveyard, you can actually use bow links to search for, and that's one of the key components to it as well. Like a lot of your big stuff is going to play off of this card and using this card's effects, so that's why I'm running 2 of it. Moving on to the rest of the spells. Super Polymerization, Foolish Burial, and Monster Reborn. So, with Super Poly back, this is going to be one of the prevalent cards you're going to most likely see because of the fact that it's all your fusion stuff really does revolve around a large portion of things need to be on the board. You simply just discard a Salamangreat card, get its effects off after this resolves, and bam, you have a ton of utility, you have a ton of setup, and you have a ton of control because you can use your monsters for the fusion summon. Monster Reborn is Monster Reborn to get all your cards back. I really don't think I need to explain that much. And Foolish Burial, for the overall sense, is a combo extender, sending cards from your deck to graveyard to get a lot of their effects going, like your Gazelles and stuff, and just really getting things together for the graveyard. Alright, I'm going to move on and talk about the trap cards. So, Salamangreat Roar is your Light of Judgment, pretty much. Your Light of Judgment. You pretty much have to control a link monster, a Salamangreat monster. When a cell trap or monster effect is activated, you can negate that effect. If you control a link monster whose material was used a monster who was used with the same name as the material, you can set this card from your graveyard, but it's banished during the end phase. So you pretty much get 2 negates in 1, which is amazing. Then you have Salamangreat Gift, which is pretty much your Pot of Avarice. You'll be able to discard a Salamangreat monster, send a Salamangreat monster from your deck to graveyard, then draw a card. So it's a Foolish Burial, it's a discard card, and it's a it's a draw card. Then if you control a link monster whose link material is the same monster that it is as material, you'll draw 2 cards instead of 1. So yeah, you get a lot of setup with this. This is really amazing continuous spell, and it's just a hard once per turn if you decide to use each effect. And then the Icarus attack, Salamangreat Roar. Tribute Salamangreat, destroy 1 card in the field. If you have a link monster who shares the same name as one you control, to link summon it, bam, you pop 2 cards instead of 1. Then Ghost and Match. And Ghost and Match is primarily here because everyone's the same attribute. If I were a Warlord, it'd be the same attribute and type. And then a lot of decks would be screwed over. So that is pretty much it for the main deck in those explanations. I'm going to move on to the extra. So the extra deck, for the most part, I'll start it off, of course, with your main man, Salamangreat. Hold on, wait, because I'm trying to organize all this too. Okay, there we go. And am I missing anything? Yeah, myself. Alright, so let's talk about all the Link monsters. So let's start off with my pal, Salamangreat by Lynx. When it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to protect your Salamangreat monster from being destroyed by battle or card effect. It is a easy monster to get into. We just don't have Lady Debugs anymore to really amplify it or speed it up. But pretty much what you do with it is search for your Salamangreat Sanctuary so you can put it in play and then just go crazy from there with Link summons. And while it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to protect a Salamangreat monster from being destroyed by battle or card effect for the turn. And it helps tremendously in so many different ways. You cannot tell you guys how amazing this little kitty is. Next up is the Sunlit Wolf. So this is one of the two monsters from Salamangreat that has this ability that if you use it as material for a link summon of a monster that shares the same name as it, what it will do is when it's special summoned, you can add a spell or trap card from your graveyard that has Salamangreat in its name. Add a Salamangreat card from your graveyard and add it to your hand. Sorry, I was reading that up. Then on the top of that, when it's normal summon, or when a monster is special or normal summon to a card it points to, you can add a fire monster from your deck or from your graveyard to your hand, but you can't use that monster that you normal summon. You can't normal summon instead or use the effects of the monster with that same name. But most likely, you're just going to try to get back your Ash Blossom so you can resummon again. And then you can just pop off with your Gazelles and stuff to summon multiples of these and get their effects going. Really good, really versatile. And it's strange because that was the card that won the $7 and not the next one, and that's Heat Leo. Which is supposed to technically be one of the two boss combinations. Heat Leo will cut his attack or will send a monster to give attack to another monster, and then it's a bounce effect within its own abilities. Now, the next crazy thing about this is Heat Leo overall is going to combine himself with Violet Chimera in effect of you can target a monster and then give its attack to the next monster, and then Violet Chimera's ability is that it will amplify its attack to get over stuff. So you can imagine with all these crazy shenanigans, it's a combo that can be made still and can work out. You have Fusion of Fire to summon it, you have Super Polymerization, you'll be perfectly fine with Heat Leo and Heat Leo setup. And then, well, that kills two birds with one stone because I was going to talk about Dual Chimera. Violet Chimera. Then we'll talk about Mirage Stalio when it succeeds summon. This succeeds summon monsters used as material for a link summon. It will have the ability to send one card on your opponent's side of the field back to hand. So that helps there. It allows you to summon Salamangreat from your deck to your field. The only cards you can summon are fire, which is not a threat at all to this deck because it's all fire for the most part, so you're not losing out there. And I love Burning Firehouse. Then we're gonna move on to the non-Salamangreat monsters in the extra deck. We'll start off, of course, with Hita. The Salamangreat monsters in the extra deck. Hita, the Flame Charmer Blaze. Mirror match combos here. You can summon a fire monster from your opponent's graveyard to your side. Then, in addition to that, when she leaves the field, you can search your deck for a fire monster with 15 or less attack and add to your hand. It's a combination of an elemental version of Witch of the Black Forest for fire monsters. It's a link monster. It has all these great things attached to it. Like I said, she's just a fire starter, and she's a great fire starter. Then I want to move over to all the extra deck monsters that are not link monsters for the most part. Babushka for the stall, Excitonite for the removal, Abyss Dweller to deal with graveyard effects, and Cowboy for that 800 points of damage in case of needed. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the extra deck. And pretty much for this deck profile. So I hope you guys do enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you hit that bell for further notifications when I live stream or upload my new videos and content and do my live streams. Thank you guys so much for watching, and HBJ signing out. See you next time.